Hello everyone and welcome to Reading Otherwise. Today's topic, as you can see, is Ferdinand de Saussure and his theory of structuralism. Saussure is so important for your exams that you can expect questions ranging from factual ones such as when and where he gave his lectures to deep conceptual questions on terms like langue and parole. So let us begin our discussion. Inspired by Ferdinand de Saussure's course in general linguistics, structuralism first developed in linguistics and later expanded into other fields. For Saussure, language is a system of signs, and each linguistic sign is made up of a signifier and a signified. For instance, the written form trees the signifier while the mental concept associated with it is the signified. The signifier is not naturally connected to the object it refers to. The relationship between the signifier and the signified is therefore arbitrary. A cat is a cat because it is not a hat or a bat. The system of signs works through difference. And this idea of difference becomes particularly important when we talk about binary oppositions. Structuralists often look for pairs of contrasting concepts that organize a text, such as good and evil, nature and culture, male and female, or life and death. The meaning of one term is partly understood through its relationship with its opposite. But what exactly is the system? The system consists of two important components, langue and parole. If I explain the two terms very simply, langue is the underlying system of a language, the shared rules, conventions, and vocabulary that allow a language community to communicate. Parole is the individual use of that system. We can influence parole, but langue is a social phenomena, so an individual cannot ordinarily change it at will. The distinction can also be extended beyond language. For example, we can think of literary conventions as a kind of system, while individual literary works are particularly uses or relations of those conventions. So this is a system, but how can we study this system? Here comes the concept of synchronic and diachronic study. Synchrony refers to the study of a language as a system at a particular point in time, while diachrony considers its historical development and change. So, if I study how English works at a particular moment, I am looking at it synchronically. If I study how English has changed from Old English to Modern English, I am looking it at diachronically. Finally, Saussure gives us the concepts of syntagmatic and paradigmatic relations. Syntagmatic relations are the relationships between words when they occur together in a sequence. Paradigmatic relations are the relationships between words that can be associated with or substituted for one another in a particular context. For example, in the sentence, the cat sleeps, the relationship between the cat and sleeps is syntagmatic because they occur together in a sequence. But cat could be replaced by dog, child, or girl. These possible alternatives belong to the paradigmatic relationship. So very simply, syntagmatic means combination, paradigmatic means selection. Now let us see, as literature students, how we can apply structuralism in literary criticism. Today, I am deliberately not giving you a textual example. Instead, I want you to expand the field of literature to other forms of art. I think most of you are aware of Turkish romantic dramas. They often follow a particular structure: a wealthy, serious, good-looking hero and a middle-class, funny, lively heroine. The romance often begins in an office setting or through a chance encounter. The antagonists may also follow familiar patterns, and later in the series, the hero may lose his wealth and with the heroine's support, start again. Now, I'm not saying that every Turkish romantic drama follows exactly the same formula. The point is that certain patterns and relationships keep recurring. So, if we borrow Saussure's distinction to analyze such a system, these recurring conventions can be thought of as functioning like a langue, while the individual serials are particular realizations of those conventions. Something like parole, our Sasbahu serials also follow their own familiar structures. Now you might say, man, what about a serial that doesn't follow the usual structure? What if the heroine is wealthy and the hero belongs to a middle class family? Excellent question. What happens when a text begins to question or disrupt the structures we have taken for granted? That's where our next discussion on deconstruction begins. And that's the basic idea behind structuralism. Instead of looking only at an individual verb, we look at the larger system of relationships and conventions that gives that word meaning. So this was structuralism for you. And for more such literary videos or literature related videos, subscribe to my channel.